crazy. They're all going under the guise of Black Lives Matter. And I would challenge you, you won't find a person of color in the mix at all.
So, well, what's the mayor doing? What's
nothing.
going?
Absolutely nothing. The woman is absolutely feckless. She has no guts. Again, they are being run by extremists. Right. They have everybody's hands tied. It is the most corrupt local government I have ever seen in my entire life. And I lived in Chicago, right? Like, and I'm telling you, like, we had two county commissioners end up in jail. We had a county manager go to jail. We had the county manager that replaced her end up going to jail.
Wow.
I mean, it was insane what was going on. They were running a gift card scam, right? I mean, and these are the people that continually get reelected and reelected and reelected.
Right. That is the frustrating part. It always is frustrating, right?
Republicans don't even run here. They don't run.
They don't bother.
No, they don't even bother because they know they're not going to get in. Matter of fact, our last sheriff, not our current sheriff, our last sheriff, he was the first live guest I ever had in studio on my program when I started here in Asheville. And after the program was over, and I said, Sheriff, give me a little bit of the down low. What's going on here? And he said, Mark, I ran as a Democrat because it's the only way I could get into office. And I said, well, what about if you ran independent? He says, oh, no way. He says, the only way you get into office is be a Democrat.
Wow.
He has since left the Democratic Party. He saw exactly the inner workings of some of these social justice quote unquote groups. And I don't even believe that there is such a thing as social justice. There is social canceling, but there's zero justice involved in it.
And certainly chaos. Yeah, there's no doubt about it. And destruction.
Yeah, it's a bad situation up here, and it's only getting worse, unfortunately.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you what, we're going to keep an eye on this. We're going to have you, if you don't mind, I'd love to have you back so we can keep an eye on the race. I mean, we've got 80 some odd days left to go. Where are we at? 82, 83?
I think 83 days is where I left off count. I'd have to go check the bottle of bourbon out in the.
You have good bourbon there?
Man, I'm telling you, we have about 50 breweries within about 10 miles of Asheville.
Oh.
Yeah, a couple of distilleries. You gotta come up here, man. I'm telling you.
I know.
I'm afraid you might not go back though.
What's that?
You might not go back if you come visit.
It's that beautiful. Yeah, I believe it. I love my home here. I love Southwest Florida, and I left once, and that's enough.
Yeah, there you go.
So, all right, my friend. Listen, we'll do this again soon. Mark Starling is on First News on 570 WWNC from North Carolina, and we're going to check in with him again coming up soon. And we'll find out more about how things are shaking out there in the swing state of North Carolina. And it was great to have you on the show this morning, my friend. We'll do this again soon.
Appreciate it, Drew. Appreciate it.
92.5 Fox News. 92.5 WFSX Estero. It's 8 o'clock on Southwest Florida's news and talk station, 92.5 Fox News.
This Wink News Update is presented by CFS Roofing. Online at cfsroofing.com.
Now, this is a Wink News Update.
I'm Corey Lazar with Wink News. The Big Ten and Pac-12 conferences announced they will not play football this fall because of the pandemic. The Big Ten says it's postponing all fall sports and hopes to make them up in the second semester. This includes Ohio State, Penn State, and Michigan. Florida State University's president said the Seminoles will play football in the fall. Governor Ron DeSantis says there should be football this fall, and he proposed all NCAA football games be played in Florida. Charlotte County Schools is now working on a communication plan for when students return back to school. If someone is exposed to COVID-19, they will be notified and directed to take preventative measures to contain it. Now, if there's an
Hey guys, how you doing? Little inside Drew Steele baseball. Just had a little issue with our connection, so I will give you a little music on hold while I'm reconnecting everything up. But we're good. Sorry about the disruption, so we'll go to break. I'll put you on hold for a second here, and we'll get back in just a second. Do, 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 do. I know, it's weird. Stand by, everybody. Stand by. Yeah, I know, weird. I just want to make sure you hear something while I get all of the technical difficulties worked out. And they will be worked out in just a second, so hang in there, everybody. Hang in there. Hang in.
However, there is a disabled vehicle at Daniels at 6 miles, slowing traffic north and south on 6 Mile, also eastbound.
Beginning on Daniels, heading towards the intersection. So very congested right now. Give yourself lots of extra time if you are heading that way. That's your Up to the Minute traffic. I'm Sabrina Katz. Wink News now.
Wink Weather Authority.
For this morning, looking good. Mixture of sunshine and clouds. And then by this afternoon and this evening, another summertime round of scattered showers and storms. Hot and humid day of weather. Temps in the 90s. Feels like temperatures in the triple digits. And Mother Nature's on repeat. We keep this pattern going for the rest of the work week all the way towards the weekend with those highs in the 90s. With Wink News, I'm meteorologist Matt Devitt, Weather Authority.
Wink News at the top and bottom of the hour.
When your liberal relatives from up north come for a month, turn up 92.5 Fox News in the house, in the car, and on the radio at the beach. 92.5 Fox News. Run all along.
My name is Mike Gillimbardo, and I'm running to represent you in the Florida House. It was a great honor back in 2016 when Donald Trump's team asked me to speak at his campaign rally right here in Southwest Florida. And it was an even bigger honor to meet the man that would become our next president. My message that day was about unifying our country behind Donald Trump. Today, my message is the same. Donald Trump is under constant attack and needs our support more than ever. I'm Mike Gillimbardo, and I supported Donald Trump when he was a candidate, and I support him as our president. But unfortunately, my opponent's special interest friends are spending tens of thousands of dollars trying to tell you I don't support our president. And that's just not true. While I'm working to unite our party, he's working to divide it. I'm Mike Gillimbardo. I'm a combat veteran who worked to help Donald Trump get elected. If you send me to the Florida House, I will ensure Donald Trump succeeds in keeping America great. Paid by Mike Gillimbardo, Republican for the Florida House.
Home is truly where the heart is. CFS Roofing Services understands that. When I saw what CFS did for my neighbor's roof, I called them. Everyone was professional, and owner David Crowther has nearly 4 decades of experience. It's obvious they care.
CFS Roofing Services, where your home matters most. Visit cfsroofing.com or call 239-561-2600. I'm David Crowther, and I approve this message.
Today, Byron Donalds claims he's for law and order. Yesterday, he wanted weaker sentences for felons.
We're going to provide some additional time off of sentences.
Yesterday, Byron Donalds, arrested for drugs and theft himself, wanted compassion for drug dealers.
Giving discretion to judges in some drug offenses.
Today, Byron claims he's for President Trump and a safe election. Yesterday,
we do want convicted felons to get their rights to vote.
Who will Byron Donalds be tomorrow? Paid for by Honesty America, not endorsed by any candidate or any candidates committee.
Hey, check this out, Southwest Florida. You know that sweet trade-in deal we've been doing here at Naples Nissan? Well, it just got sweeter. If your trade-in is less than 8 years old with less than 80,000 miles on it, guess what? Naples Nissan is going to give you the original base MSRP for it. Wait, what? Yeah, so whatever that Hyundai, Kia, Toyota, Nissan, or Honda was worth 5, 6, 7, 8 years ago is exactly what it'll be worth now, but only at Naples Nissan. Ford, Dodge, Chrysler, Chevy, yep, we'll take those too. Let's see here, a brand new Nissan or that old 2012 you're driving now that needs new tires. Bluetooth. No Bluetooth. Backup camera? No backup camera. Come on. It's a no-brainer, folks. Visit NaplesNissan.com.
Processors. Upgrade to new modern devices with Windows 10. Plus save on top brand tech while enjoying free shipping on everything. And special financing with Dell Business Credit. Call 877-ASK-DELL to talk to a Dell Technologies advisor who can help you find the tech that's just right. That's 877-ASK-DELL or visit Dell.com/smallbusinessdeals.
Big big news. David Horowitz's new book, Blitz, just hit 6 weeks on the New York Times bestseller list. Already a #1 Amazon bestseller, Blitz predicted the big protests against Trump. Now, Blitz says Trump has a secret plan. Mike Huckabee says if everyone read Blitz, Trump would win in a landslide. Get Blitz at bookstores or see the free offer and save $28. Just go online to blitz411.com or call 800-NEWSMAX. That's 800-NEWSMAX. And get Blitz today.
From 92.5 Fox News.
It's the stuff Southwest Florida is talking about.
It's Daybreak. Now, here's the guy at the epicenter of what's important to those of us who live in Southwest Florida. Drew Steve.
Hey, good morning, Southwest Florida. I'm so glad you're here. 239-479-5592, the Tri-Town Construction Talk and Text line, streaming live on the YouTubes at Drew Steele Radio, Steele with 3 E's. Love that you subscribe to the channel. We do appreciate it. Big thank you to Dr. Ben Carson in town today in Fort Myers, and had a great conversation about opportunity zones and understanding that, listen, there is opportunity that many people have had thanks to this administration that will not be afforded to people in the same way if it is a Biden-Harris ticket, which it is, and a Biden-Harris presidency, which it won't be. Well, what do I mean? You mean it won't be? Didn't Kamala Harris get the pick for VP? I'll explain what I'm talking about in just a second. And also want to thank my buddy Mark Starling, who's actually on the air at the same time that I am. And so we kind of crossed paths this morning and was able to talk about some of the swing states. You know, we're all talking about what's going to be happening, certainly here in the state of Florida, and the concerns that many people have of how close it will be an election and how this is all going to shake out. You know, we talked about how Democrats were looking to sign up 1 million more voters in time for the election, and they are very, very, very far off. I think there were less than 5,000 from where they were in 2016. It was actually a minus number. It wasn't even a positive. So that bodes well here in the state. But then you have those that are going to continue to insist that we have universal mail-in ballots. Not the kind of absentee ballots that are happening right now in Southwest Florida, where we know that we have fantastic individuals working in Lee and Collier County, for example, that are working the elections and keeping them secure, and something that you have asked for an absentee ballot, you receive it, you fill it out, and then you either drop it off on your own or you mail it back, as opposed to the universal ballots that go out. And we know how that works, where your dead Uncle Fred ends up getting it. Wasn't there a movie? Right, Drop Dead Fred. Yeah, so Drop Dead Fred, your Uncle Fred has been gone for a long time. God rest his soul. That, he's been gone for maybe 15, 20, 30 years, but somehow he got a mail-in ballot. And so did Fluffy the dog, who everybody knows is kind of on the fence, but believes that Kamala is a moderate. And most people are confused about Fluffy and are worried about Fluffy's vote. Of course, if it was a cat that got the ballot, we all know that it would go for Bernie Sanders, right? Because we all know that cats, that's not what you do. That's not nice.
This is what you do.
I'm kidding. It was just that cat. That's it. But anyway, here's the thing. I wanted to bring this up before we get into your thoughts on the choice of Kamala Harris and the fact that, we have Tom Ridge, the co-chair of VoteSafe on voting by mail, who was talking about, let's stop thinking about this as, wait a second, election night?
It's not news that the post office is losing money. They've been losing money for a long time. But the men and women who deliver the mail on a day-to-day basis work very hard in spite of the weather, in spite of the political accusations directed at them. I think the challenge isn't the management of the organization. I think we resolve that problem by simply saying the last day to vote is November 3rd. But if it takes a while to count those votes, so be it. We don't need to know on election night.
Yes, we do.
And by the way, the state legislators and governors, Republicans and Democrats, could help this process and undermine these false allegations of fraud if they simply move the process of sorting the mail and sorting these absentee ballots. For example, in Pennsylvania, You can't even begin opening the envelopes until 7 o'clock on election night. Well, obviously there's going to be delays. So let's move that process forward. Let's sort and get ready to count on election day, but let's quit thinking about we need to know on election night. It's election week or election month.
No, not election week or election month. No, you see, that's how it happens. I don't know what Tom Ridge is talking about. What is he doing? This idea of voting by mail. And listen, we'll figure it out. It may take a week. It may take a month. It may take 6 months. I don't know. It may take until Congress makes the decision. Who knows how the process is going to go? But we got to take our time. No. Because the longer it goes, the more you're going to see mail-in ballots that are going to come in that are not going to be postmarked, that are going to have to be counted because every vote counts until the Democrat wins. And then it's like, okay, we got it. Not good. Not good. 239-479-5592, the Tri-Town Construction Talk and Text line. All right, I am so happy to be joined right now by Paris Denard. Paris is the RNC Senior Communications Advisor and Black Voices for Trump Advisory Board member. He's joining us right now on Daybreak 92.5 Fox News. I'm so happy to get his perspective on the pick of Kamala Harris. This is going to be an interesting situation moving forward. It's Drew Steele. How are you, Paris?
I'm great. I'm doing very well. Thank you for having me on the show.
I appreciate a few minutes of your time. So Kamala Harris, listen, Paris, we have nothing to worry about here. She's a moderate, like Joe Biden's a moderate. I don't know what universe they came up with this, but people should be concerned about Kamala Harris as the pick. What are your thoughts about Kamala Harris and what we may see moving forward here?
Look, I'm not going to buy into the hype about Kamala Harris, the senator from California, because this is not about her. It's not about the VP pick. It never has been. We've had women on both sides of the aisle be the nominee for the ticket to be the vice president before. It didn't play that much of an impact to sway the election in their favor. At the end of the day, this is about Joe Biden. And what Kamala Harris is going to have to do is subscribe to the legacy of bigotry that Joe Biden has had for his entire political career. She's going to have to now be on the same ticket as someone who supports the Green New Deal, someone who wants to hurt the American economy through trade deals that do not put America first. Someone who wrote the 1994 crime bill that led to the mass incarceration of thousands, if not hundreds of thousands, of Black Americans. And so it's no longer about Kamala Harris, the individual. It's about Kamala Harris, the person who is on the ticket. And the Joe Biden's team and the Democrats want us to focus more on Kamala Harris because she's much more exciting. She's going to give somebody get people enthusiastic. But at the end of the day, it's Joe Biden. He would be the president, and it would be his policies that she would be lining up to. So when you look at her as an individual, however, there's nothing to be excited about. If you are a voter who is looking for somebody who's going to lower your taxes, not Kamala Harris. You're looking for somebody who's going to support things that are going to keep the American economy going, to be an energy producer, not Kamala Harris. If you're someone who's an activist and you're excited about criminal justice reform and actually doing things to empower people and heal the land, it's not Kamala Harris. So ultimately, Biden-Harris or just Biden by himself is still not a good pick for the Black community, and it's certainly not a good pick for the American people.
I wonder what is going to happen, Paris, and maybe you can speak to this as well. I believe that we're not going to see a lot more of Joe Biden now. I think it's going to be focusing on Kamala Harris for obvious reasons. They're going to keep Joe in the basement. They don't want him to talk. I mean, and that's not hyperbole. That's just fact. They're keeping him away from the media, and we all know why. We all know the gaffes, and a lot of those gaffes are go back decades. But also how people are phrasing this now on social media, which to me is laughable, that somehow Kamala Harris is going to be in a debate with Vice President Pence and quote unquote shred him. Really? I wonder how that works, because ultimately the vice president is somebody that you don't want to stand toe to toe with if you want to talk about the issues important to the American people and can succinctly talk about how the Democrats want to defund police, how they have destroyed cities that are run by Democrats, and even governors in specific states. These are not things that are imaginary. These are things that are front and center on our TVs, that we see, even on social media. They are tangible. Can you speak to that? How do you think, do you agree with that? Or what do you think it'll be like with that situation moving forward?
Kamala Harris is not running for president.
Yeah, but I think don't you think that they're ultimately going to want people to believe that that's going to be the strong suit of the ticket? What I mean?
That's just my point.
Right.
She's not running for president.
Right.
But the campaign has such a weak candidate in Joe Biden.
Yeah.
They're going to continue to push her forward because they think that she is the stronger of the two.
Yeah.
They think that she's the more coherent of the two. So they're going to keep. Look, the announcement was done from the basement. He called her from the basement.
Yeah.
They couldn't even get together for that. Joe Biden is a horrible candidate, and while they may talk about her, whatever she's supposed to do on the debate stage with the vice president, there are still 3 debates that Vice President Biden is going to have with the president that he's already agreed to. The campaign and the RNC have asked for a 4th debate. And if they don't want to do a 4th debate, that we've asked for him to move up the last debate to September because of early voting. So Joe Biden is going to have to come out and debate. He's going to have to stand up for his policies and look the American people in the face and defend his horrific record.
Right.
And I don't think that they're gaffes. I think they're bigoted comments that he's made throughout his entire career as late as last week. And so I think you're right. They're going to try to make this about Kamala Harris. But ultimately, it won't be about Kamala Harris's opinion. It is the Joe Biden administration, the Joe Biden ticket, the Joe Biden policies, principles, and agenda that are going to be on the ballot. And that's a dangerous proposition.
Yeah, Paris, I was kind of being kind when I said gaffes.
I won't let you get away with it.
Okay, thank you. Okay, I think I appreciate that. No, I do, obviously. And I did want to ask about this. So happy to be joined by Paris Denard, RNC Senior Communications Advisor and Black Voices for Trump Advisory Board member, talking about Kamala Harris and the pick to be what I think is going to be ultimately the de facto presidential choice. They're going to really focus on. They're going to focus on her. Although we still have to talk about the issues that she stands for, and we just and Paris just explained what she is for. And you want to talk about moderate? No, there's no moderation in any of it. It is a hard left. It's progressive. It's everything that Bernie Sanders and Pelosi and Schumer and everybody wants. And AOC, they're gonna love getting behind this pick and having her push the agenda for them. But I did want to ask about this. There was a Rasmussen poll that came out, Paris, for July 2020 that said 36% of Black American likely voters approve of the job that the president is doing. Is this the year that we finally see the numbers turn more, where we have been teased in the past about Black voters and the fact that as conservatives we know that we have the answer for everybody, every community, every American, as far as being able to achieve whatever it is you dream and wish for, that this is the president that actually has shown every community, every American, that it's possible. Is this the year? I mean, is this the year that the numbers will be where we had hoped they'd be in the past?
I think Joe Biden and the Democrats think that it's the year, because that's why you've seen this overt pandering to the Black community. Mm-hmm. Remember, they said that Joe Biden was only going to select a woman to be VP and a Black woman for the Supreme Court. Now it's a Black woman for VP and a Black woman for the Supreme Court is what he's promising, because if they were leading in the polls, if he had such a strong vote block for the Black vote going into this, there would be no need to go out on this length to pander to the Black community the way that they are. It's because they're running scared, because they know that, you said, the president is having a positive impact on the Black community. The Rasmussen poll is indicating that. The other polls are showing that. And it's the fact that when you look at the contrast between the two people, the contrast between the two leadership styles, and what the action that they have done historically and currently, there's no question that the black community is better off under a Trump administration than they would be under a Biden administration on a whole host of measures, economically, educationally, and socially. In terms of supporting the black family, the black community, I believe, is going to turn out like never before for a Republican because of the leadership of Donald Trump. And I think that is what makes Joe Biden afraid. That's why he says you ain't black. That's why he says that you're a monolith and we're not diverse, because he wants to have groupthink. He wants to have his base locked and loaded just to be for him and not to be influenced by free-thinking, independent-minded people who may look at Donald Trump objectively and say, wait a minute, what do we have to lose? Well, yeah, we have a lot to lose. We're going to vote for this guy and give the Republican Party and Donald Trump a first look or a second look come November.
Paris, it is breathtaking, isn't it, before we go, that the left gives Joe Biden a pass on the things that he has said. Gives him a pass and tries to defend it. And of all the people that are in America and the people that are Democrats and then all the people that are hard left, and then all the people that are progressives, and then all the people that could be the president of the United States for the Democrat Party. This is their guy. It really is breathtaking, isn't it?
It is. When you look at the fact that President Obama told him, Joe, you know you don't have to do this. When Kamala Harris on the debate stage all but called him a racist. Phil Booker called him a racist. I mean, this is an act of desperation. This shows how desperate they are and even Joe Biden, he has no backbone. He has no leadership. He has just acquiesced his entire campaign policies and everything to the radical left. Defunding of the police, Bernie Sanders and Elizabeth Warren writing his whole agenda, his policies, and now turning to a woman who tried to just tear down his 40-some-odd year career is supposed to be on the same team, and he picks her because he's that desperate and that scared. It's not a good sign for the Democrats. It shows how pathetically thirsty they are for power and how fearful and threatened they are by a second term of Donald Trump, because they know if President Trump wins re-election, that changes the game for Republicans and the trajectory of the political system for another generation, because President Trump is inspiring and he's aspirational.
Yep, and the results have been tangible. Everybody knows where we were and how we can get back there easily once again in the future with this president. Paris Denard, I can't tell you how much I appreciate a few minutes of your time. RNC Senior Communications Advisor and Black Voices for Trump Advisory Board member. Appreciate you. Thanks so much, and hopefully we'll get a chance to do this soon. All the best.
Thank you.
All right. 239-479-5592, the Tri-Town Construction Talk and Text line. It's Daybreak, 92.5 Fox News, right all along with traffic. Here's Sabrina Katz.
A crash in Fort Myers at Gladiolus and Summerlin is causing a delay eastbound on Gladiolus, starting from around Winkler. To avoid this, just hop on Summerlin if you're heading north. Also, my commuters in Fort Myers still seeing a disabled vehicle at Daniels and 6 Mile with very minor slowdowns on Daniels just east towards the intersection. Nothing too bad for right now. Finally cleared, though, on Alico Road heading in Collier County. That's your up-to-the-minute traffic. I'm Sabrina Katz. Wink News now.
Wink Weather Authority.
Mixture of sunshine and clouds, quiet morning, but as we hit this afternoon and this evening, keep your eyes to the sky. Scattered showers and storms on a hot and humid day. 93 degrees with our heat index over 100. With Wink News, I'm meteorologist Matt Devitt, Weather Authority.
Wink News at the top and bottom of the hour.
The 2020 election plays out here.
People show up to polls and they vote with a pocketbook.
92.5 Fox News. Right all along.
Whoa, nice strike, Floyd.
Hey, Earl, remember Bill Nelson?
Liberal Democrat in office for ages? Astronaut or something?
And more like space tourist. They put him on a shuttle once, strapped him in a seat, and he bragged about it forever.
Yep, that Bill Nelson. Rick Scott beat him. So,
why did William Figglestaller write Bill Nelson a fat campaign contribution check?
Dr. Fig funded that fella?
Stop.
You gotta laugh. Figglestaller claiming to be a conservative after he backs a liberal like Bill Nelson.
The same as Casey Ascar.
Ascar, the Romney Republican. He can't say why he sent thousands to Romney for president, but not one dime to Trump against Hillary.
Yeah, money talks, and it says you can't trust Figglestaller or Ascar to stand with Trump in Congress.
Paid for by Club for Growth Action. clubforgrowthaction.org and not authorized by any candidate or candidates committee. Club for Growth Action is responsible for the content of this advertising.
Businesses are starting to bounce back. But what if you could do better than that? What if you could adapt, deliver, and succeed in new ways with new customers? At Comcast Business, we're committed to helping you not just bounce back, but bounce forward. That's why we're offering powerful and reliable internet and voice, now for only $35 each a month when you buy both and sign up for EcoBill and AutoPay with a 2-year agreement. It'll help you stay ahead with a network you can count on, stay connected with 24/7 support, and thrive with flexible solutions that work wherever you are. Call 1-800-501-6000 or go online today to find out more. Comcast Business. Offer ends 8/21/2020. Restrictions apply. New customers only with 35 megabits internet and 1 voice mobility line. Early termination fee applies. Enrollment in EcoBill and AutoPay required. Equipment installation taxes and fees extra, subject to change.
This is State Representative Spencer Roach. I believe the most powerful economic engine on earth is America's free market economy. I will oppose any attempt to shut down Florida's economy because every job is essential. And free market capitalism, that's the only economic stimulus package we'll ever need. We need to open our businesses, our beaches, and our schools immediately because America works best when America's working. I'm Spencer Roach, and I'm proud to be a retired military officer. I'll stand shoulder to shoulder with law enforcement to fight against the radical anarchist and socialist mobs that seek to overthrow our government, loot our businesses, tear down our monuments, and burn down police stations. I'm Spencer Roach, and I'm proud to be an American. I'm proud to stand for the flag, and I'm proud to stand up for conservative values. And I will not back down. Primary election day is August 18th, and I hope you'll join me in standing up for America, because freedom is worth fighting for. Paid for by Spencer Roach, Republican for Florida House, District 79.
This is 92.5 Fox News.
Stay break 92.5 Fox News. 239-479-5592. Want to hear from you coming up in just a few more minutes. Want to take your calls. What do you think? Kamala Harris is going to be the vice presidential pick along with Joe Biden, and that is the ticket. And what do you think about that ticket? Are you worried? How do you feel about that? We'll have a conversation coming up about that, plus the top 5 audio clips of the day, the 5 at 8:35. That is on the way as well. As you can imagine, scrolling through the social media universe, oh boy, they are making Kamala Harris look a lot different than the debates and some of the things that she has said about Joe Biden in the past, and now how she's going to have to answer to all that. Oh, and by the way, she's a moderate. I can't even say it with a straight face. Okay, all coming up. Daybreak, 92.5 Fox News, right all along.
This is Daybreak. 92.5 Fox News.
For professional roofing, the name you need to know is D.R. Martineau.
Dan Martineau here, owner of D.R. Martineau Roofing of Southwest Florida. We're still finding a lot of roofs with hurricane and windstorm.
Hey, sorry guys, some technical issues today on the broadcast. I don't know, I'm not really sure what happened, but looks like everything is up and running now, and sorry about that. And thanks for subscribing and continuing to subscribe to the channel. We appreciate it. Somewhere down there, the subscribe button is. And we'll do top 5 audio clips anytime you want to comment on your thoughts on Kamala Harris's the vice presidential pick. You can certainly chime in on that. So we'll get to all of that coming up. And feel free to call too. 239-479-5592. Thank you for your patience. I don't know why I did it that way. Sorry.
Or anything in between, our Conditioned Air team is eager to help. You can count on the people of Conditioned Air. We are your neighbors, parents of school children, volunteers in the communities, coworkers, consumers, and supporters of all types of businesses. We want to help you when and where you need us, at your business or in your home. Your comfort is essential. Invest wisely. Conditioned Air, the comfort people since 1962, serving all of Southwest Florida. Call 1-888-COLD-AIR or log on to conditionedair.com. License number CAC 1819590.
Summer seems even brighter when you've been inside a while.
It's time to drive again with Honda, KBB.com's 2020 Best Value brand. You could get a great deal on the 2020 Accord or 2020 Civic with financing as low as 1.9% APR on select models. Visit the Honda Summer Clearance event today.
See your Southwest Florida Honda dealers or log on southwestfloridahondadealers.com.
For well-qualified buyers, see dealer for financing details based on 2020 brand image from Kelly Blue, but visit kbb.com for more information.
Let's talk about local elections. What about this Matt Caldwell guy?
Caldwell, who wrote in his own words that he would never vote for President Trump.
I hear Caldwell wants to be elected to both Republican State Committee and Lee County Property Appraiser.
He's running for 2 offices?
Yes, Caldwell is running for 2 offices.
Is that legal?
Yes, but it doesn't mean you have to vote for him.
Everglades Trust called him Corrupt Caldwell for the millions he took from Big Sugar.
Caldwell refuses to vote for Trump, takes big bucks from Big Sugar, and now he runs for 2 elected offices. Is Caldwell serious?
Caldwell is serious about opposing President Trump and serious about taking big bucks from Big Sugar?
I won't be voting for Caldwell for either of the offices he's seeking this year.
Glad we have candidates who back President Trump running against him in the primary. Vote no when it comes to Matt Caldwell.
Paid for and approved by me, Chris Crowley, for Republican State Committeeman, the conservative choice for Lee County.
This Wink News Update is presented by Stevie Tomato Sports Page in Fort Myers, Cape Coral, and Naples.
Now, this is a Wink News Update.
I'm Corey Lazar with Wink News. The Big Ten and Pac-12 conferences announced they will not play football this fall because of the pandemic. The Big Ten says it's postponing all fall sports and hopes to make them up in the second semester. But this includes Ohio State, Penn State, and Michigan. Florida State University's president said the Seminoles will play football in the fall. Governor Ron DeSantis says there should be football this fall, and he proposed all NCAA football games be played in Florida. Charlotte County Schools is now working on a communication plan for when students return back to school. If someone is exposed to COVID-19, they will be notified and directed to take preventative measures to contain it. Now, if there's an upward trend of cases or transmission, the Department of Health suggests kids learn from online and then head back to the classroom later on. A mooring field in Cape Coral's Bimini Basin has been in the works for years, and now the city says it's getting ready for phase 2 of the project. Last night, Cape Coral showcased 2 potential designs, one with room for 18 boats and another for 15 boats of different sizes. Florida has chosen to participate in a COVID-19 vaccine pilot program. The state surgeon general says we're now part of the CDC vaccine pilot group. We're one of 4 states chosen to take part in this. You'll have the opportunity to get more free walk-up testing at Three Oaks Park in Lee County. They're testing from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. every Tuesday and Thursday for the rest of August. Now, this Thursday's site will be at Buckingham Community Park. We have a list of all the other sites on the Wink News app. St. Matthew's House says they fed 828 families yesterday at their Golden Gate High School food pantry. Today they have another distribution scheduled at the high school from 9 until noon. They expect to feed hundreds of people there as well. I'm Corey Lazar, Wink News Now.
Wink News Traffic.
A crash in Fort Myers at Gladiolus and Summerlin is causing a delay eastbound on Gladiolus starting from around Winkler. To avoid this, just hop on Summerlin if you're heading north. Also, my commuters in Fort Myers still seeing a disabled vehicle at Daniels and 6 Mile with very minor slowdowns on Daniels just east towards the intersection. Nothing too bad for right now. Finally cleared, though, on Alico Road heading in Collier County. That's your up-to-the-minute traffic. I'm Sabrina Katz. Wink News now.
Wink Weather Authority.
For this morning, looking good. Mixture of sunshine and clouds. And then by this afternoon and this evening, another summertime round of scattered showers and storms. Hot and humid day of weather. Temps in the 90s. Feels like temperatures in the triple digits. And Mother Nature's on repeat. We keep this pattern going for the rest of the work week all the way towards the weekend with those highs in the 90s. With Wink News, I'm meteorologist Matt Devitt, Weather Authority.
Wink News at the top and bottom of the hour.
The antidote to the anti-conservatives. 92.5 Fox News. Right all along.
Steven Tomatoes Sports Page. Come for the food, stay for the sports.
It's Big Al from Stevie Tomatoes Sports Page. Do you feel like you're the forgotten person in this great country, working hard all your life and contributing to this country's greatness, but taken for granted by our politicians' quest for voters, using their slogan, more taxes will set you free? At Stevie's, you are not forgotten. We love our customers and never want them to feel forgotten. We deliver the value you deserve with our food, service, and pricing. Making our customers feel special is our happiness. As the owner of Stevie Tomatoes, we cater to the forgotten person. Those of you who go go about every day doing what it takes for them and their family while contributing to this country's greatness, its culture and values. I personally invite you to allow us to be a small part of what makes you feel special, and we promise to obtain your complete satisfaction. I guarantee it. For daily specials, go to StevieTomato.com. Stevie Tomato Sports Page in Cape Coral, Fort Myers, and Naples. Come.
Trust. It's the rock-solid foundation of Moran Wealth Management. Over 40 years ago, they began advising clients on ways to help meet their financial goals. 4 decades later, we've helped many reach their goals of providing for themselves, their families, and future generations. CEO Tom Moran has assembled an impressive team of professionals, each committed to the same core concept. Tom is recognized by Barron's as a Hall of Fame advisor. To be named a Hall of Fame advisor, the advisor has to have been ranked by Barron's consecutively for the last 10 years in any of their rankings. Let us earn your trust. Call 239-920-4440 or visit moranwm.com. Barron's rankings are based on data provided by thousands of advisors. Factors included in the rankings were assets under management, revenue produced for the firm, regulatory record, length of service, quality of practice, and client retention. Investment products and services are offered through Wells Fargo Advisors Financial Network, LLC, WFAFN, member SIPC. Moran Wealth Management is a separate entity from WFAFN.
This is 92.5 Fox News.
Stay break 92.5 Fox News 239-479-5592, the Tri-Town Construction Talk and Text line. Would love to hear from you this morning. Maybe you have some ideas, some thoughts about Kamala Harris being the pick of Joe Biden and the Democrat Party. Actually, the pick of the Democrat Party. I'm pretty sure Joe Biden didn't have a whole lot to say about it because Joe Biden probably just... Well, does he? He knows, right? I mean, he knows that Kamala, he knows who she is, right? He remembers it. That's not very nice.
Not a joke.
Not a joke, though. All right, top 5 audio clips of the day. Here we go. Oh, by the way, sprinkling in some of the Kamala Harris, maybe that you haven't heard recently, into the top 5 audio clips of the day. It's the 5 at 8:35.
Drew's Top 5 at 8:35 is brought to you by Moran Wealth Management. Isn't it time to review your portfolio options? Go to moranwm.com.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Drew's 5 at 8:35.
Number 5.
So let's move that process forward. Let's sort and get ready to count on election day, but let's quit thinking about we need to know on election night. It's election week or election month. You got from November 3rd to January 20th, Stephanie. Let's do it right.
Oh, wow. Okay, so that's Tom Ridge, the co-chair of a group called Vote Safe, the first Secretary of Homeland Security during the Bush administration, telling MSNBC on Tuesday that in order to secure the 2020 election, Americans need to stop thinking, just quit thinking about this need to know on election night. Stop. It's election week or election month. Do you see where we're going? You know, we half joked about this for the longest time. Like, why not make it 365 days a year? I don't have any time to. I'll tell you what, let's just make it all year round. Let's vote for 2024 starting January 1st. We'll just make it the whole year long, and you can go whenever it's convenient. And you can pick whoever you want. It doesn't even make a difference. I mean, that sounds hyperbolic and ridiculous. But when you have someone who is suggesting that, look, it's election week or election month, and who knows how long it's going to take for ballots to come in, and who knows from whom those ballots will come in from, and how the ballot harvesting of individuals will come in and say, yeah, this isn't postmarked. I don't know when it came in, but boy, we got to make sure that every vote is counted. And so go ahead, put it up on the board. Count it. Did it go for a Democrat? Good. A Republican? Oh, it can go back in the trunk. I'm just saying.
Number 4.
Senator Harris says she's proud of her record as a prosecutor and that she'll be a prosecutor president, but I'm deeply concerned about this record. There are too many examples to cite, but she put over 1,500 people in jail for marijuana violations and then laughed about it when she was asked if she ever smoked marijuana. She blocked evidence. She blocked evidence that would have freed an innocent man from death row until the courts forced her to do so. She kept people in prison beyond their sentences to use them as cheap labor for the state of California. And she fought to keep cash bail system in place that impacts poor people in the worst kind of way.
That is Tulsi Gabbard during the primaries, absolutely torching Kamala Harris on her time as a prosecutor there in California. You know, that very moderate state where very moderate people come out of and get elected to very moderate positions in California. I can't even say it with a straight face. but just torching her on the decisions that she made in the state. And when you hear that, somehow, some way, she's going to have to answer to that, to the left in the party that is going to be really upset about those positions. And I guess the suggestion is if she, apologizes, or if she's not going to deny it, then how do you go and how do you make a good of all of those things that she did now as a vice presidential candidate? I guess you just say sorry and move on.
Number 3. There's this whole conversation that's been coming up about electability. Focused on our campaign. Is America ready for that? No. Well, yes, they are.
I'm not saying it's one of those really awkward moments where Kamala Harris at the time, if you remember, was there campaigning and at an event was asking everybody, listen, they're talking about my electability and I'm electable, right? What do you think about that? And everybody's like, no. And she's like, well, wait a minute, you're not supposed to say no. That's not how this works. It's one of those awkward moments where it kind of reminds you, I don't know.
Please clap.
Yeah, kind of like that moment. She had her own please clap moment. We forget that, right?
Number 2.
And the president also was slamming President Obama, Vice President Biden, accusing them of spying on the Trump campaign. That is just not true. That did not happen. Has not been proven. But let's turn to our...
I got to stop. In other news, there's Jimmy Acosta, who was on CNN after the announcement of Kamala Harris by the Democrat Party to be the de facto president of the United States, and the response of the president and what he was saying. CNN comes on and says that it was a really bad thing that the president brought up or said something about the Obama administration spying on the campaign. That's not true. Didn't happen. It's not been proven. Well, if Jimmy Acosta says it, then we can put that all to rest. Sorry, it's really hard to do it with a straight face.
Number 1.
She is a person that's told many stories that weren't true. She's very big into raising taxes. She wants to slash funds for our military at a level that nobody can even believe. She is against fracking. She's against petroleum products. I mean, how do you do that and go into Pennsylvania or Ohio or Oklahoma or the great state of Texas? She's against fracking. Fracking's a big deal. She's in favor of socialized medicine, where you're going to lose your doctors, you're going to lose your plans. She wants to take your health care plans away from 180 million Americans. 180 million Americans that are very happy with their health insurance, and she wants to take that away. So she was my number 1 pick. I mean, she was, as they would say, because hopefully you'll start college football, she was my number 1 draft pick.
Number 1 draft pick, and there's the president commenting on Kamala Harris being picked yesterday.
Drew's 5 at 8:35.
And of course, the important aspect of all of this, which is where does she stand on the issues? Why would the Democrats be excited about having her as the vice presidential pick, even with all the things that she's going to have to figure out? Accusing the vice president during the primaries of being racist. Oh, no, that's not what she said, True. She actually said, I don't think you're a racist. Can I just play that clip? Can I remind everybody how that all went down during the primaries? Let me see if I can find this. The exact way that it happened, because you're going to get a lot of people that are on the left that are going to say, no, you're taking the words out of context. We have to be better than that, because she said,
I do not believe you are a racist.
All right, so I don't believe that you're a racist, Joe Biden. No,
I do not believe you are a racist.
Okay, right.
And I agree with you when you commit yourself to the importance of finding common ground.
See, just finding common ground. I don't believe you're a racist. But let the audio go on.
But I also believe, and it's personal, and I was actually it was hurtful to hear you talk about the reputations of 2 United States senators who built their reputations and career on the segregation of race in this country.
Is that kind of a way of saying, I don't think you're a racist, but man, you hung around with and supported a lot of racist people by default? right? Because that's how the left operates, right? If you even had a conversation with somebody who may have heard it from a friend who heard it from a friend who he may have met someplace in a bar a long time ago, like 30 years ago, and that person was a racist, then by default, de facto, swisto, changeo, that makes you, right? Isn't that how that works on the left? And it's so, yeah, so there's that. And then, of course, the policies. $93 trillion Green New Deal. How are we going to pay for all this? We got to do this. It's a wish list to fix what they perceive as all of the ails of society. And you know what the ails are. And it's $93 trillion worth of fundamentally changing the country that was rejected by just about everyone, even the party. But no. We've got some support here. Hold on. Let's get into office. And supporting Joe Biden in 2015 as the basically the person spearheading the Iran nuclear deal. Remember, we'll probably get into the appeasement of countries again. We're going to get back into that. Oh, and there's more. But I want to hear from you. 239-479-5592 on the heels of this pick. What do you think? What do you think about all this? What do you think about those that say, oh, man, Kamala Harris on the stage with Vice President Pence? Oh, have you seen her on stage? I mean, she's ruthless. I'm telling you, she's going to shred him. Those are the words that are coming from social media on Twitter that they're saying, oh, put them on stage. What do you think? Would you be worried about Kamala Harris on stage debating Vice President Pence? Because I promise you that now the focus will be on her as opposed to Joe Biden, because that's the way it has to be, because he can't leave the basement. Paul's in Fort Myers. He wanted to comment on this. Hey, Paul.
I have a question for you guys. Yeah. Good morning. Can you hear me?
I hear you. Can you hear me? I'm here. Are you there?
Hi. Yes, sir.
It's me. Is that
have
you?
A question. Maybe somebody can help me answer this one.
All right, here we go.
If Biden and Kamala Harris become the ticket, right, and Biden steps aside, Harris moves up to become the president, is she able to pick a vice president at that point?
That's an interesting question. Good question. You know, I can't say yes.
There's a possibility the Democrats are going to put two people in the highest office that nobody voted for. Who needs elections?
Well, you know, the big question becomes if that is going to happen, and if that is the projection that that's where we are going. Number one, how do you run a party, the DNC, with this motive in mind? That's pretty twisted, and it's pretty sad.
It is.
It's a sad commentary.
It is, but they threw out the rule book a long time ago.
Yeah. Well, no, you're right, Paul in Fort Myers. I appreciate the call, and that's I'm sure people have brought that up, right? Like this is, of course. You have people like Hillary Clinton supporting her and others because probably Hillary sees this as a way to get in, or Susan Rice or others to be able to get in to remember why it's important. You know, a Susan Rice being put into the vice presidential position, clearly they didn't think this would be a good fit, is because of Spygate, is because of everything that has transpired. And remembering that if you have a Biden-Harris a victory in November, doesn't make a difference of the order or whether or not Joe Biden's going to go away or not. Just remember that a lot of what happened with Russiagate and all of that goes away as well. You just put that to rest because that will be done, completed, finite. And all of that's going to be tucked back under the rug. Like you didn't see any of this, and none of this happened until they do it again. And then you try to call them out, and we go through this stall and everything again. Chris is in Cape Coral. Chris wanted to comment on the choice. Hey, Chris, how are you? Hello there, Chris. Is Chris there on the line with us? We lost Chris. All right. 239-479-5592. Why don't we do this? Let's take a break right now, Jake. We'll take a break, and when we come back, we'll get to more of your calls. 239-479-5592. Maybe you have a opinion on the choice of Kamala Harris as the vice presidential DNC de facto presidential, non-presidential choice. I know there's a lot of working parts there, or non-working parts, as it were. Let's find out what's happening with the remainder of the forecast today with Week News meteorologist Matt Devitt.
Mixture of sunshine and clouds, quiet.